All right, we're now on to the privilege of hearing from our fearless Orange County leader who has helped shape the Orange Catholic Foundation for the last few years, increasing its impact in profound ways. Steve Cameron has served as executive director with vision, dedication, and a deep commitment to his faith. Under his leadership, the work of OCF has grown, transforming countless lives across our community. In addition, Steve holds a special passion, as so many of you have heard, for Catholic education and a mission to ensure that it remains accessible to the next generation. Today, he'll share more about that vision and the opportunity to make a lasting difference. Please join me in welcoming Steve Cameron.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is so nice to be here, and it's so nice to see all these early risers. I want to say, first of all, thank you to Bishop Van and for the board of the Orange Catholic Foundation for giving me the opportunity to become the executive director. It is nothing I ever thought I would do. It was nothing I was ever interested in doing. In fact, when I got the call, I thought they had made a wrong phone call. Why would they call me? I'm not a fundraiser. I'm like you. I'm the one who usually is giving the money away, not asking for money. So that has been a bit of a path towards learning about humility, to be honest with you. But that's part of the job. But it has been so exciting. And when Bishop called me and asked me if I did it, the reason I eventually said yes was because for some reason my heart is towards Catholic education. And it really doesn't make any sense to me other than it's the Holy Spirit. I'm a convert. I never went to a day of Catholic school my entire life. My wife did. But I have my Catholic education via tuition only. I wrote a lot of checks. And so I became a connoisseur of Catholic education because I was involved in a lot. And so when the bishop told me that this is what he wanted me to do, somehow I said yes. And that would be 3.5 years ago on June when I stepped down and Kathleen takes over the reins. So, you know, it's just been a wonderful experience to get to know so many people. I thought I knew a lot of people before I took this job, and I've just met so many more. I saw some of my very best friends now are people that I've met at the diocese. The pastors that I've met in this diocese are just incredible. We are so blessed to have the men that we have serving us every day. Our teachers, our principals, it's just a wonderful organization of people. So coming into the Orange Catholic Foundation, there was a lot of work that needed to be done, and so I know we got Coach here. The first thing we focused on was our blocking and tackling, and I will tell you that our accounting and our reporting is crisp, it's precise, and it's on time. I mean, we are just an extremely well-run organization. And so it's really a testament to Carol Curry and her accounting staff for what they do is just totally amazing. The other thing we've been productive on is we really changed our focus. Our whole focus now is really not on cash. In fact, if you came to me and said, here's $1 million check, my first comment would be, I don't want your $1 million check. Let's talk about $1 million of appreciated stock, or let's talk about some real estate, because I want to help you to be a better giver. I want to help you take full tax advantage. So if you want to give me your cash, of course I'll take it, but my preference would be you give me your appreciated Microsoft stock, because that's going to save you 45% of capital gains, right? And so how do we as a Catholic Church not only become better askers, but how do we as Catholic Church become better givers? And so that's what our whole focus has been on. And so with this huge intergenerational transfer of wealth that's going on right now, this is the biggest opportunity in the history of the world to create the wealth and the longevity that we need to sustain our institutions. We need to be focused on the long-term game. We need to be focused on generating endowments. We can't just live for today. We've got to create endowments so in 30, 40, 50 years when we're not in this room, our giving is still giving, and we're creating institutions that can survive forever once we're gone. And so that's what our whole focus needs to be, is how do we tap into this intergenerational transfer of wealth? By that I mean people like me who are going to be passing on our money to somebody else in the next 20, 30 years. How do we take that money in an appreciated asset way that's tax effective? How do we create endowments to sustain these institutions? That's what our whole focus has been, and that's what Kathleen and the team at the Orange Catholic Foundation are going to be doing. And that's why I was so happy to recommend Kathleen to take this role, because she gets it. And she has the energy, and she has the enthusiasm, and she has the youth to go do this for 20 years and really build a great organization. So one of the things that when I got to the diocese is I'm on a scale, I'm more on the entrepreneurial scale, and I'm not good at staying in my lane. And so when I got to the diocese, of course, I saw other things and other opportunities that were piquing my interest. And so it didn't always make my OCF board happy, because I didn't spend 100% of my time on OCF business. But two of the things that I got involved with, one is my professional career. I'm a home builder, land developer, and title, so I buy, develop land, sell land to home builders and things like that. So when I got to the diocese and I started to look at the lay of the land and realized that the diocese is one of the largest private landowners in Orange County, it quickly became apparent that the church owns a lot of underutilized land that we grow weeds on. And there was probably something we could do better with that. And so really, under the leadership of Bishop Van and Father Angelo and Steve Pellegrini, who is our CFO, we've developed a very robust strategy where we're now beginning to develop some of this underutilized land. The church won't sell a square inch of land, but we're going to enter into long-term land leases, and we're going to start building rental housing on this underutilized church property, which is going to generate millions and millions and millions of dollars over the next 75 years. I mean, it's just, I won't share these projections because they'll be so big you'll think I'm making it up. But there's a lot of opportunity here to build rental housing that's not only going to meet a need for people who have a place to live, but is also going to generate a huge amount of money every year. Every year those rent checks are kind of going to come in, and that money is going to go support the mission of the church. So we have about 6 projects lined up in the queue right now. We're going to start our first one in La Habra. We're going to build 21 townhomes at Our Lady of Guadalupe. And so I'm still in the fundraising mode for that. We're almost there. But if you have an interest in doing something like that, come see me. I'd love to talk to you about that. The second thing that I'm going to really, and so when I step down from the OCF, I'm going to continue to do that on a volunteer basis, work with the diocese to move these projects forward. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with my passion for Catholic education. You've heard mentioned a little bit Pax Christi Academies, which is a new network that the diocese created a couple of years ago to run and manage 5 schools, elementary schools, 3 schools that are in Santa Ana, 1 in Anaheim and 1 in the city of Orange. We call those Pax Christi. And so those are Catholic elementary schools that have been around for 60 or 70 years, but they've had some struggles. It's a tough place to run a Catholic school. The expenses exceed what most of the families can pay, so they need a lot of financial assistance and a lot of love. And so I am the chairman of the board of Pax Christi Academies, many other board members here today, so I'm going to basically spend the next 5 years of my life working for Pax Christi, really to work with Dr. Christina Arellano, our president, to continue to improve the educational offering, to continue to help these children develop their faith, their intellect, their character. And as most of these kids are children of first or second generation immigrants, help them understand U.S. civics, our government, love of country, our history. And so those are our 4 pillars: faith, intellect, character, and citizenship. So I really can't think of anything better that I can do with my time than to help this little school network grow and become financially sustainable in perpetuity. And so the 2 ways we're going to do that is, one, the NOI from the real estate, and secondly, we're going to go raise a very large endowment. And so over the next 5 years, this is what my focus is going to be. So I'm not stepping away from the church. I'm just going to step down and let Kathleen do the OCF because she'll do a great job. And so my interests are still with the church, and I'm just going to direct my energies in a bit more of a focused way.